Well, as the title says, this was the first flight of my Challenger 2. And it was, well, it was a struggle. Okay, back out here at the hangar. I've just done my first flight. This is the intro to it, so I flew first. Now I'm recording the intro. The winds were very light along the runway, but as soon as I got to 50 feet, boom, it hit me and threw me sideways. I was all over the rudder pedal, full deflection on the ailerons. I only did one loop and then I landed it. I've got some video from some friends who recorded on the ground. I'm going to ask them to send it to me, and I'll see if I can add it into this video. But first flight is under the belt. I have to say it didn't climb very well. I didn't get much higher than about 60 knots. And came close to stalling. I was fighting that the crosswind, and yeah, I need to evaluate what was going on before I take this up for a second time. But like I say, about 50 feet, suddenly the wind picked up and hit my wing and threw me sideways. And the landing, well, the landing wasn't too bad. But the circuit, I was very concerned because I wasn't gaining airspeed. So I pushed that nose forward to gain airspeed and managed to bring it up because I'm pretty sure it was getting close to stalling. So anyways, yeah, first flight is done. A very first time flying a Challenger 2, and it's on floats, and it's got the 503 engine. So things to remember. I'm going to make some notes and before I take it up for a second flight. But that was its first flight, and let's cut to it right now so you can see what was going on.
Windcrest, Ultralight India Echo Bravo Kilo is entering the runway at midfield for 27. We'll back taxi and we're ending the pattern. Windcrest.
Okay, I've decided to record some narration on some of these parts, the taxiing back and what have you. This is the first attempt at the first flight. Now I say that because, well, I won't give away the surprise. There will be a surprise that that causes me to abort this takeoff, and there is a flight, but not on this particular one. So, needless to say, it's going to be a little interesting in about a minute here. I'm just taxiing to the end of runway 27. It's a grass field. It's a little bumpy, but compared to some other grass fields, they roll this down beautifully at Windcrest, and it's a nice smooth grass field, soft field, and the airplane handles it beautifully. And I taxi back to this point over here and start doing some checks. So let's listen in.
Okay, left-hand pattern. If I'm not off on the timing reach, but taxiway, I'm going to abort the landing and land on the runway. If I have an engine failure, once I am off, I will be pitch for about 50. 45, 50, and look for a soft place to land and hope for the best. Left-hand pattern, and let's do it. All right. First flight in my Challenger. Let's go.
Just then.
Well, I repaired the doors. I modified the latches so that the doors don't pop open. I was surprised that it didn't happen when I was doing my taxi testing, but it didn't. Only when I went to take off did that door pop open, and I realized I had to make a slight modification. It took me about 20 minutes to fabricate some little latch guards and pop rivet them in place, and they hold nicely. The doors did not pop open. I made another modification later on. It's not on the video either, but a little tab that basically holds the handle in place as well. So anyways, I'm at the end of the runway over here, and I'm going to be turning down 27 and going to make the radio call and take off. So let's see this.
Wind crest, Ultralight India Echo Bravo Kilo is on the active 27. We'll be remaining in the circuit. Wind crest.
And here I go, full power, and I'm going to cut to a friend, James, who was standing next to the runway there, and he took a video with his cell phone. Sorry for the orientation, but there it is. That's what it looked like from the ground. Now, you notice a little dip there. Yeah, I pushed forward to gain some airspeed, and I knew there was a bit of wind, so you see the tilt to the right, but then all of a sudden, look at that right wing. Boom. It went up there, and I'm trying to correct. And this is where things went squirrely. There we go, there's a little dip, and up we go, and hold it on the center line. Boom, there's that wind, and it just pushed me to the side. Not only did it push me to the side, I started discovering that I had very poor rudder authority. I have the doors on, and even Quad City mentioned that, hey, you put the doors on, you need to add winglets to the tail, which is my next project. And here I am in the turn. Now, let's see what it looks like from behind the cockpit. You'll see just how squirrely it is. This really dramatically shows there's the horizon, and how I am, at this point, I'm starting to fight the airplane. Like, it's just, I can't land. I'm too far down the runway. That's not an option. I need to keep climbing, and I start noticing that my airspeed is, well, it's just not where it needs to be, because I'm pulling too far back on that stick. And yeah, well, here, listen in as I mention that.
I'm all over the place. Airspeed.
Yeah, with that, I was noticing my airspeed was getting dangerously close to the stall speed, so I pushed the nose forward. Now, the guys on the runway watching me, they said, "You started losing altitude when you went in that turn." I says, "Yeah, that was deliberate. I pushed that nose down. I needed airspeed, and I wasn't very high off the ground. I was maybe 200 feet, but I needed airspeed because if it kept on bleeding off like it was, I was going to stall and spiral in. Not a good first flight. So the only instrument that I was glancing down at the whole time was my airspeed indicator. I didn't care about altitude. I could see the ground. I knew how high I was. I was high enough. I was going to hit anything. I just needed to keep that airspeed in there. And once I turned kind of downwind with the tail into the wind, it stabilized. And you can see from this camera angle how it's pretty stable now. It's not bouncing around. I'm not skating left and right. But it was squirrely to begin with, and to the point where at this point I decided I am not making a second circuit. I'm putting it on the ground, and they're going to find out what the hell's going on here. Why am I fighting this thing? Why am I dancing on the rudder and full aileron deflection to keep it, flying straight? And I find out after doing a little more reading that, yeah, there's the winglets that go onto the tail, and in the instructions. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason from the Cotton Patch. He forwarded that on to me. It says right in there that if you got the doors on, you need these winglets or you're going to be losing a lot of rudder authority. It'll be overcorrect. Boy, was that an understatement. It was near uncontrollable. Thank goodness I've got over 100 hours now. I'm still a new pilot, but enough in different airplanes and the seaplane work that taught me that. Here's the look of the landing from the runway, and it actually looks pretty good. I was pretty happy with the landing. So, yeah, this was the first flight, and there she goes. I'm on the bottom. And, well, let's listen to what I see when I hit the ground.
Holy shit. As soon as I took off, the wind picked up my wings. Oh, that was probably the worst. It did not want to climb. Okay, the door's held. I was fighting it the whole fucking way.
Okay, so that was the first flight. That was me. It was ugly. As a matter of fact, the only numbers I was looking at was my airspeed. I was looking out the window for my altitude, but airspeed. I had to get the airspeed up on that. And then when I brought it in for landing, well, I was too high, but I brought it down. Oh, somebody waving. Yeah, the landing wasn't too bad at all. Other than I did notice, especially when I dropped the throttle, the nose picked up. And I knew that was going to happen, but I completely slipped my mind right when I was coming in because I was so busy fighting that crosswind. But I saved it, and she came down, not with a thunk. It was pretty decent, and that was it. I thought, no, I'm parking it. So anyways, thank you very much for following along. That was the first flight for my Challenger, and there will be many, many more to come. I need to do a lot of practicing on this thing to get used to how quickly the ailerons react and the rudder and everything else. So it'll be circuits for a while, but that's okay. I'll bring you guys along. Thanks for following. Keep your stick on the ice, and we'll see you again, both in the hangar and in the air. Bye for now.